And it's been interesting here at the My 105 Open Day, celebrating 20 years of our operations here. And someone who's been looking at all the exhibits and has got a long, relatively long association with the station is Auntie Carmen. So welcome, Auntie Carmen, to today's exhibit. And I'd like to just thank you for sharing some of your thoughts with us today. So with My 105, what do you find interesting and enjoyable about My 105 and its programs?
Well, the different parts of it I don't mind listening to is the news, and also I love the music that they play, a bit of everything of the olden days, and you know, different. And when I sort of hear the old songs, and I thought, oh, gee, my poor old mum would love that, you know. And that's what I like, you know. It's a bit of everything, and I think it's important to sort of have those sort of music and that come by all the time, you know.
Definitely. Yeah, as we get on in years, we go back to the 50s and we think of some of those golden oldies, as we used to
we
call
start
them.
to slow down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I can remember in the past talking to young people, and I might be singing a song from the old days, and they say, hey, how do you know that song? Oh, we used to sing it when we were kids.
Yeah.
Oh, truly.
That's exactly.
But someone else has brought it out as a new rendition, and they think it's the first time it's been ever played.
Yeah.
And so, also with the station, you go back, how long do you think it is that you've been associated, not with the station only, but with community, because the station and community get involved together, don't they?
Yeah, yeah. I think more so I got sort of got to know the station, you know, when they were situated over north side there in Brendan Street, isn't it?
Yes,
Brendan
that's
Street?
right, yes.
When they first started there, and that's what I sort of, you know, was involved there, you know.
Yes.
And it was good when they came over town. Yeah, it was really good, yeah. And plus with Chaz, what she's achieved over the 20 years is a really blessing to her, because she is my cousin, really, and through her mum. Her mum was, well, my mum on the choppy side, and that's how we're related, you know. And I think she's done a mighty job.
She's doing a wonderful job, absolutely.
And she welcomes everybody with open arms and a smile and everything, you know. It's great.
That's very important, isn't it? And she's done a marvellous job too, setting this up, celebrating the 20 years. And just looking around the exhibits, around the walls and so forth, is there anything in particular that sort of caught your eye?
Yeah, photos of me. Dancing.
Dancing.
Oh my God. I said to Eunice, my sister, look at me. I said, there, look, I'm dancing. She said, God, where? And I thought, oh my God. I don't know how they got the photos, but they got the photos
it's
anyway.
not on the video. We
Could have
can't
been.
show a video.
Well, it could have been, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
Okay.
And I was glad I come down, because Chaz did ask me. She said, are you going to come? I said, no, well, I've actually been, you know. And she said, but we've got a photo line going through and everything. And then I rang my sister Eunice, and I said, they're having an open day. I said, you know, the achievement that they've achieved for the 20 years. And she said, yeah, I'll go. And we're glad we come now, yeah.
That's great. That's excellent.
Yeah, and it's best to sort of talk to people in person rather than, you know, listen to somebody that, you know, that just sort of gives you the information by, you know, just by phone or something,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yes.
And I like face-to-face talk, you know. Yeah, it's really good.
I can remember my first experiences in hearing the late Stephen Kent on the radio.
Yes.
And I thought to myself, you conjure up this image of what this person might look like.
Yes.
He looked totally different to what I imagined.
Yeah.
But he had such a warm personality and so much knowledge, so much knowledge. And he was able to just teach us, I guess, codes of conduct and ways to present information and just express yourself on air. And another issue too as well, I think, is that the station's very conscious of the fact that there must be a code of conduct and that these days the station needs to be very careful as to the announcers and how they present information and their own opinions and so forth. It's something that we're all conscious of as far as directors of the organisation as well. So, have you ever served on the board at all as a director? Okay.
No, although years ago, when they were over North Side, and I can remember them saying, "Why didn't you have a go at?" I said, "Oh look," I said, "I'd be so nervous because I mean I'm not up with the new technology. Let's face it, you know, I'm just the old-fashioned,
Yes.
And you know, but I tell you what, I've sort of come across getting to know Dave and Adriana, and Adriana's just such a lovely person.
Yes.
I've got a lot of time for her.
Yes.
Yeah, and I just hope that she gets gets well pretty soon. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Poor darling. Yeah.
And I think too that myself, going back to the early 50s when we used to listen to radio serials,
Yes.
and I can remember as a younger person too listening to Dad and Dave.
Yeah, and Dr. Paul.
And Dr. Paul.
Yeah.
Portia Faces Life.
Yeah.
And all those. They bring back so many memories. And someone did say to me once too as well that with radio, it helps you with your imagination.
Yeah.
And it's different to television. Because as a child, when I was listening, I'd done my homework, of course, for primary school, and I was allowed to listen to the radio. And there were programs such as Hop Harrigan and Superman and Seabunt and those. And you used your imagination. You'd close your eyes and you'd be picturing what's going on in that radio serial. Different to TV today, a lot of it's so technologically advanced, so to speak, that you just sit there and you just soak it all up. You don't use your imagination as much. But that's just, for me, one of my opinions with regards to the benefits of radio, using your imagination. And so today, I think, do you think that the people have got a very good idea, those who have come through, as to just meeting some of those voices that they've heard? How much it helps them?
Yes, my
That's
word,
great. It's wonderful.
I really and truly, my wireless is never off every morning. I'm just listening to the music.
Great.
And, you know, different times when they sort of change over, like to whoever comes in and takes the place of someone's just finished.
Yes.
You think, oh, they're playing all these old songs, you know, and I think,
Yes.
oh my God. And the first thing when I hear the old songs, I always think of my mum.
Yes.
Because years ago, it doesn't matter where you were here in Mackay, and no one had phones or cars or anything, and everywhere we went we had to walk or ride bicycles.
Yes. Yes.
And if there was something, a dance that was on, you know, everyone would say, now don't forget when you go out to Marion or somewhere like this, or go out to Havana, don't forget to tell them that there's a dance on at the Farley Hall.
Right.
And if it wasn't there, it was at the Buffalo Hall, just across the bridge.
Right.
And another place that we used to always go was the Railway Hall. Well, both halls they're all gone now. And because my brother and his wife, my eldest brother and they got married, and when they came out of the church, it started raining because it was at the old St. Joseph's Church in Brendan Street.
Okay.
And it started to rain and everything, and because we all said, oh look, showers are blessings. So I said, you know, always had that saying. Well, it poured rain all that night, and I just think, you know, because who we had playing was Gunny Armat. He was, oh look, he could play that electric steel, make it sing,
Yes.
And I think we just all jumped around and jived around, and when we got up the next morning, and Mum said, oh God, she said, the place is flooded. She said, you have to get out of bed, you know, because we lived at the Goose Ponds there.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So we got up, but anyway, we got a lift we thought we were going into town. We got as far as the Cremon there.
Yes.
Used to be the Cremon Hotel.
Yes.
Because that's where all the men used to always drink when they knew there was a dance on. Then they'd walk over the street, 10 o'clock it'd close, because that were the rules then. And then they'd come to the hall, charged up, ready to dance, and Well, the day that my brother and his wife got married, well, when we come that morning, here the Buffalo Hall was floating down the Pioneer River.
Was it
So we
really?
must have shook it off its blocks, I reckon. Yeah. But they were all the places, eh? Oh,
Yeah.
God, it's...
Brings back a lot of valuable memories.
Well, there
Absolutely.
were never any drugs or anything around at the time.
Yep,
And everyone looked after each other.
absolutely.
And like I said, no one had phones or nothing, or didn't have cars. And the different ones, you know, if they were going somewhere, don't forget to let such and such know, you know. And,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a dance on, and there were taxi drivers that knew every darkie by heart. That was Bill Illo and Sam Bajaya.
Okay, they were taxi
And,
drivers.
yeah, they were taxi drivers, and Billy Illo would say, you know, if he'd see Mum and she said, "Hey, Mrs. Mooney, you know your auntie come on the Sunlander today." And Mum said, "Oh, I don't know."
Oh.
And she'd say, "Oh, who are you talking to?" She said, "You know, your sister Dulcie Choppy, yeah."
Oh, my goodness.
But he could tell who was on the train, who was getting off the train.
Yeah.
We used to call him Dory.
Yeah, Dory.
But he was such a lovely fella, you know.
Yeah.
He used to, and the dances.
Yeah.
Oh man, he'd drop anyone off, you know, and he'd come and pick you up. And
Yeah.
Sam Bajaya was the same. Two Maltese people.